Wendy launched a course, and it's her baby. And isn't that the truth? We fall in love with our products so much so that they're a living, breathing part of our businesses. So we totally understand the baby part. But okay, so she said she only had a single purchase, and she wants to know what to tweak if nothing worked. She said her email open rates were close to 30% for each email in her sequence, but low click rates under 3%. I'm doing all the things. Where do I go from here? Like I said, it's all a part of earning your stripes as a blogger. I don't think I know a single blogger that launched without having some kind of fall flat moment.
And anybody who says that they did is lying. I fully believe that. It is one of those things where you have to have a flop to know where you can go from there.
Exactly. If you don't have a flop going out of the gate, you don't know where to improve. I would rather have a flop than a relative success, because then you're like, okay, it's working. I'm not going to try to do any better.
Yeah. It's so true. When you hit it out of the park on your first run, this sounds terrible. Tracy and I have both, guys. Tracy and I think it's fair to say we've had more flops of our product launches than I think either one of us can count. Let me share my first product launch. I decided that there was this huge hole in the market for a Pinterest course years ago, back when Pinterest was favorable and enjoyable, and everybody and their mother had a Pinterest course. I made this course and I did videos for it. I did screen shares for it. I wrote about it. I made workbooks for it. It was huge. I charged $97 for it, and I had no one buy. Now, of course, the irony of this is not lost on me, the fact that nobody bought. But then Ultimate Bundles asked if I could put it into Genius Bloggers Toolkit, and it worked. When it flopped, I was like, products suck. I'm never going to make another product again in my entire life. What is the point? This is stupid. I'll just continue to be an affiliate and work on ad revenue, because obviously I can't make a product. Looking back on it, the problem wasn't the product itself. It is a good course. It's obviously irrelevant now because Pinterest is constantly changing, but that's not the point. The work that I did, the workbooks that were there, the instructions, everything was really, really good. The problem was that I never actually hit on my people's pain points. And I never would have known if I had just thrown my spaghetti against the wall and was like, it worked. 5 people bought. And I would have called that a success at the time. But I never actually would have been able to grow more than that, because I would have been like, it worked. I don't have to change anything. When in reality, if I had been able to change some things about like what it is that was inside of it, the way that I talked about it more specifically, how I could hit on people's pain points, tug on their heartstrings a little bit, have them start nodding their head, reading my sales page going, yeah, that's exactly the problem that I'm having. I vomited the information about it. I was like, look, it's a course. It's got 48,000 lessons and a 9,082 page workbook. And you're going to love watching 18 hours of video. It wasn't actually talking about what it was going to solve for the person.
Right.
And for me, that was the big thing. I just vomited the information. I didn't actually say how it was going to change people's lives. That said, there was a huge slump after that of where I didn't sell anything. I didn't even bother to try to sell anything.
Well, I think it knocks the wind out of your sails.
You're like, well, obviously my people don't buy. We're both here to tell you that's not the case. And we don't want you to take that slump and make it any longer than this week. That's what we need to know.
And I think the biggest thing is, and I think this is probably where most people struggle, is learning the language that your readers resonate with. Mm-hmm. Now, you're writing language on your blog, that's one language. You're writing on social media, that's a different language. Writing in your newsletters is a different language. And writing on your sales pages and opt-in boxes is a different language. And you have to learn all of these languages to be a bilingual blogger. Knowing how to write to your readers, aka listing their pain points, using the language that commiserates with what they're dealing with right now, is something that takes time. It's a dance that you have to learn. It's not something you're automatically going to know. And the only way you're going to learn it is to see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So that's why the failed launches really are super, super helpful, because when you can see, so Wendy, you know that the open rate on your email was great. So your email is good.
Yeah.
Your click over rate on your sales page was not good. So that's where your focus is going to be first. And you're going to tweak a few things, and you're going to reoffer it, and you're going to see how it does. And you're going to tweak a few things, and then you're going to reoffer it, and you're going to see how it does. And you're going to keep doing that process over and over again until those numbers get to where it's your happy place. And then you turn those pages into templates, and you rinse and repeat for all the products that you make. So it is kind of a process. It's, you know, you have to go through all the stages. You have to go through all the steps, but this is absolutely the starting point of where everybody is when they first start selling.
Yep, 100%. And it's nice that you were able to track your information as far as your open rates and your click rates, because that to me says that you know where the problem is. And once you figured out the issue inside of your emails, which is just getting people to click over to your sales page, once you figured that out, then you can use that exact same vernacular, the words that you used, the bullet points, the things that you said, what if, how would it feel to? You see yourself right now. Imagine in the future. All of those different things, you can literally copy those suckers and paste them onto your sales page. Because the thing is, if something made people click on your email, it will make them click over to your checkout page on a sales page. And it really is exactly the same way that Tracy put it. It's like trying to learn all these different Latin-based languages.
Right.
Your email is Italian. Your blog post is Spanish. Your sales page is French. They all have the same general vein throughout them, but you have to figure out exactly what it is that you need to say and how to say it. You know how to talk to your readers. You know what your readers are looking for. Say that. You need to hit on their pain points. You need to find out what it is that they're feeling. What do they want? Where are they feeling overwhelmed and stressed? And don't just say, are you feeling overwhelmed? Everyone is feeling overwhelmed. Everyone is feeling overwhelmed. Right. But the way that people are feeling overwhelmed in my world is so different than people are feeling overwhelmed in Tracy's world. So you have to dig deeper, guys, like full stop. Somebody told me that because I'm like, in all of my sales pages, are you overwhelmed? No, duh. Everyone is overwhelmed. Illustrate what that looks like. For my people, it's, did you forget to pay your electric bill and now you have a shut-off notice at your door? Did you realize that you don't have any money in your bank account or food in the fridge and it's 5:30 p.m. and you can't order a pizza? Did you forget that your kid had a dentist appointment and then they charged you that extra $50 for forgetting that they had an appointment, or like they had a medical bill that you didn't realize? All of those different things are my people's pain points. Tracy's people's pain points are things like, my goat's in labor.
Yeah, true.
They leave comments on her blog of like, my goat's in labor. What do I do? Yeah. To me, I'm like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But that's a pain point that your people have, is they don't know how to take care of their animals. They don't know who to reach to take care of their animals. All of those different kinds of things. So you have to illustrate that stuff in deeper detail in order to hit on those emotions. And that's what people buy. That's when people buy, is when you can hit on that pain point. It's like when you go to the dentist and you have a cavity and they poke at it with the pokey tool and your dog goes, you make that lovely face. But that's what you want. When people read your sales page, you want them to go, yes, that's me.
Yeah, and I have two things for you. First of all, Caroline taught me this. You do an outline in a Google Doc and you list out their pain points. Yep. And then 3 days, 4 days, 12 days later, you're working on a blog. You're like, oh, I just came up with another pain point. You go back to that Google Doc and you type that pain point in, and you're constantly adding to it. And then when you do a sales page, you go right to that Google Doc and you copy all those pain points, put them in your sales page. Yeah. Another thing I want to suggest, it's called hotjar.com. It allows you to do a heat map for free of any page. And you can do it on a sales page, and it shows you where your readers are spending their time. If you have sales speak or a checklist or here's what you get. You can see where they're spending their time on the blog, and it gives you like a heat map. So you can see where it's hot, where it's cold. So you can see what's resonating with your people. I've never done it on a sales page, but I have done it on my landing page, my homepage, things on my blog. And it really is really helpful.
I mean, I've used heat maps before, but I hadn't realized that there was a free one. Because all of them are paid now. And I'm like, I'm not going to pay $50 a month for a heat map.
Yeah, but they also give you 2-week trial. So if you have a sales page, you could just get in there and do a 2-week trial. But you'd have to do a launch to get people to that page.